Hi, y'all. We're back. I'm Abby. I'm the host for the Tripping on Bricks podcast, and this is our first podcast back for the quarter, which is super exciting. And today I'm joined with two very special guests, some board members from the BSU. If y'all want to introduce yourself, that'd be great, and kind of what you do with the BSU. Starting off.
Yeah. My name is Yonnie Zerfu, fourth year poli-sci major, and I'm the vice president for the Black Student Union.
Sweet.
My name's Tekhia Jones. I'm a third-year communication studies major, and I'm the public relations officer for BSU.
Oh, awesome. And I guess my first question is, what got you into, your position at the BSU?
So for me last year, I was a part of the BSU board. I was the outreach and retention officer. And so, I realized I really like doing what I do in BSU, but I wanted, to extend that. So I thought the natural step was to, move up on the board. So that's why I became VP.
Okay.
For me, I think my journey to BSU was kind of crazy. So this time last year, I just moved on campus, and I didn't have any friends. I didn't really know anybody, and so but my aunt actually knew people that had came to the school and had been part of the ESC and part of BSU and stuff like that. And she was like, as soon as you get to campus, go to the ESC and find BSU and join it. And I was like, okay. And so, I think my first meeting was, this week probably, next week. It was, Valentine's Day. And it was, a Valentine's Day meeting. And then at the end of the meeting, they're like, oh, by the way, we're looking for, a public relations officer. And that was, something I was interested in when I was kind of, researching what to do with my major after. And so I was like, ooh, this is so aligned. Yeah. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the vision. And so, I talked to them after the fact. And I was like, hey, so this position, what's it looking like? And so, yeah, I've been part of BSU since then.
That's awesome. And that literally works so well with your major and what you're planning on
it's
doing.
Amazing.
Yeah, I feel like y'all already kind of answered this, but why do you do what you do?
Well, I mean, I came at least my freshman year, and especially last year when we came back to school, I realized there's not a lot of black students on campus. So I decided that I think the best thing to do would be able to foster a community on this campus, for the students who are here. So I think that's something that we really value, and that's why I joined BSU, and that's still why, despite all the ups and downs with it, I still join or still do BSU.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like when I came to campus, I was looking for a community. So then when I got an opportunity to be part of the board, I was like, oh, there's probably a ton of people like me that are just looking for a community and looking for a space to be themselves around people that look like them and are like them. And so I was like, oh yeah, this is where I'm meant to be, I feel like.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's a good segue into kind of what we were talking about, especially with this year's theme for Black History Month, which is being unapologetically Black. And we had talked about this a little bit beforehand, discussing what we were going to talk about for this podcast and how this theme is a little bit different than themes in the past. And so for you specifically, what makes you unapologetically Black?
Yeah, so for the unapologetically Black theme, for me at least, when I mentioned my freshman year, I was still kind of finding myself. I was, I'm moving to a place I've never been to. I'm from Seattle, and so I'm really used to being around, different people of different groups. So coming here and then walking into my first day is kind of whoa, And so I think with this theme this year, I think it reminds myself and people hey, it's cool that, you are the only person that walks in the room that looks like that. As long as you are you, I mean, it doesn't really matter what everybody else thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. I feel like it's just being and being okay with being whoever, whatever, wherever, and especially being at a PWI, I feel like there's a lot of pressure to kind of conform a little bit, and I feel like you have to kind of just stick with who you are and what you know, and obviously be open to growing and stuff, but yeah, just being comfortable in your own skin, I feel like that's very important.
Yeah, and I know we'll talk about this a little bit later, but are there any specific events relating to this theme that is going to be going on the next couple weeks, or something that you're doing personally to kind of celebrate this theme of being unapologetically Black?
I think with every Black History Month, I feel like it allows me to take more time for self-reflection, more time to think about myself, where I'm at in my life. It means once a year type of thing, so much can go on in a year. So for me, I always want to reflect, look back, look forward, see what can be next for me in order to be, more comfortable with myself, more comfortable with the people around me, and be more comfortable within the context of being at Western.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like Black History Month for me is not say I don't appreciate Black culture all year round, but I feel like it's definitely a time of reflecting on all the steps it took to get here, I feel like, to get to like where we are today. Not to say that there's still not a bunch of steps that need to be taken, because clearly there's a lot. But yeah, it's just a time to like learn and grow as an individual for me, and also just like learn and grow as part of community. Especially like just being around my friends like during Black History Month. It's like, we're here, like 'cause we're here, we made it. Like especially on this campus, I feel like Black History Month is always like pretty fun. Like this is only my second one, but I feel like this always just like feels so much more like communal. Like just especially seeing people like other Black people on campus. It's just like, oh, hey.
Yeah. No, I remember I wrote an article like last year, and I was looking up the statistics of like the minorities at Western, and I think 2021 it was like the highest Western's like diversity level was at, and it was still at like 30%, which in the grand scheme of things, even I was kind of surprised that that was actually as high as it was, because I thought it was like 20 or 15. And so like being kind of maybe walking into a classroom, like seeing just like you are the only person that looks like you, like how does that affect your experiences, or just even being in a community at the BSU, like how is it being at a PWI affect your experiences here at Western, especially because like you are such a big part of a small community, you know, like how does that affect?
I think I remember I was scared
Yeah.
when I first showed up to this campus. I remember like one of the reasons I came to Western was Freddie Collins, the admissions, I think director, I believe. Yeah. But yeah, so he convinced me that, hey, you know, you might be the only person that looks like you, but you belong here. If you feel like you belong here, you should belong here. So that's a big thing for me. I think it's just, honestly, I got used to it. You kind of just have to accept it at a certain point, which, you know, kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. So.
It's kind of like I always kind of laugh like thinking about my journey to Western, because Western was never my first choice. Like I had so many
the
schools.
bottom.
Literally, I was like, this is my last option. Like even applying, because Freddie Collins actually came to my school as well, and I was like, damn, this dude's so dope. I was like, damn, maybe I will apply. Like just like, cause he's like, you know what, like just apply, like just in case, like you never know where life will take you, and yada yada yada. And I was like, I guess. And so I did it, and I applied, and I got in, and I was just like, okay, because again, it still wasn't even, like, this was not even, like, in my top 3. And then, like, life happened and all of that, and I was like, okay, it's looking like Western is definitely going to be my option. And then, because I graduated during, like, when everything shut down for COVID.
Yeah, same.
So, like, yes, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But, so, like, I graduated that year, and then freshman year online, and then fall quarter of my sophomore year, I didn't come up. And so I feel like me coming onto campus already after COVID, and just as like your first year on campus is like so jarring already. But I feel like especially me coming in winter quarter after everything has kind of like already been established for people that did come back on campus, it was definitely like an odd experience. Like, because not only did I feel like out of place because it's like people like had already kind of gotten into their little friend groups and like stuff like that, but it's like also again I'm a Black student at a PWI, and so yeah, it was like really really hard to find community, and it's like I was like really pushing for it like really hard, and like I went through like different friends and stuff, but like it's not that we weren't vibing. I do appreciate them and all that our friendship was, but like I mean my friend here, Yonnie, and then our other friends, like, it's just, like, these are my people. I'm, like, it feels like family as opposed to just, like, friends.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, I remember our first conversation.
Oh, no.
It was at the your first event, right? Yeah. And she was terrified.
No, I was scared. I was shaking in my boots.
I was like, and then we found out we had some mutuals between us. Yeah. Like we have, I don't want to get into it, but we have some mutuals between us, so that kind of like made us closer too. I think. So yeah, no, I mean I've known Tekhia since she came on the campus basically, and to see her grow is crazy.
Yeah,
really.
That's what made me cry.
No, I was gonna say, I'm like I can already see like y'all's friendship, just like the way like talking before this, and it's very like already tight knit, and I think that's so cool too. I didn't know that Freddie Collins. Did you say he's like the admissions director or?
I don't know if it's direct. I know he has a prominent position with admissions, and so my experience with him was coming up during my sophomore year, and you know him talking to the students I was with, and it made me realize, hey, this guy's dope. I want to, you know, I could see myself being here if he's here.
Wow, no, that's really
no,
cool.
he did a lot for me to think about even coming, because my original plan was, you know, go to UW, like, you know, like most students would, but
not Western.
Not Western, yeah. Nah, but yeah, he convinced me in a way to like, you know, step outside my boundaries really, because you know I've never been to Bellingham before I came to, because I'm from Seattle, like I said, so I've never been here before. I've been to a place like this before, so.
And then you said that, so did you go to Western, like, online, technically, when it was, like, weird, and then you came up here after that? And then you kind of found your community through there? Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
It's funny. I literally chose a school. I never came on campus before I chose it. It was a very
same.
bold choice.
I was the exact same, and now I'm coming down here, I'm like, okay.
I know, like, once you get here, actually, getting here in the winter, I was like, damn, this is what it is. I don't know if I could do this for the rest of my time. But, like, the spring and summer, I'm like, yes.
It's
love it here. Yeah.
Right? I know. I feel like it's right now in the time where it's starting to get a little
I know,
bit
it's
warmer,
like that incline.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like, just talking about, too, like, the idea of being a PWI, it's like, we're always surrounded by white people. And I feel like I've come across people, too, where it's like they are activists. And I use air quotes because they're activists, you know? And it's like, for your own, like, from your own opinion, what do you think, how can, like, white people or just people that want to be allies of, like, POC and black communities, how do you think that they should, like, sorry, I completely rephrased that so weird. So when thinking about how Western is a very, like, predominantly white institution, it's like I've met my fair share of, like, white activists where all they do is, like, share an infographic, or they say these things, but then they don't actually put their activism into practice. And so how would you say at, like, an individual level that people can be actually allies to people in the black community or in the POC community? Because I think it's so essential being here on Western because, again, we are also on indigenous lands as well. So it affects, like, people around us even if they don't think that as well.
I think the best way you can do it is I don't mind the whole performative thing. I mean, it's not in the case of you just, you share a tweet, you post something on Instagram. If you're able to take that and apply it, if you're able to take that and go out and, make a change, that's dope. I think that's really cool. I just think the issue is, like you mentioned, if you just do that and then don't apply it or you don't, basically just learn how to be supportive within your own means. I'm not expecting somebody to, go out and, like, riot and fight for people like that. But, like, if you want to, you can just learn the boundaries of something like that. I think the boundaries are so important. And I feel like people don't understand that. That's for me at least.
And two, I feel like there's, like, a difference between being supportive and then trying to, like, take the cause and, like, run with it yourself. And I feel like sometimes, like, a lot of white people can just, like, overshadow black voices. Like, we always say uplift black voices, but, like, don't speak for us. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, you may think you understand our struggle and stuff like that, but it's like you don't truly understand what we're going through. You can't necessarily speak on it in the way that you think that you can. And so it's like, doesn't make sense to, like, for example, like, on TikTok and stuff, you'll see, like, especially during, like, the time that the George Floyd stuff was happening, like, there would be so many TikToks of, like, white people just reiterating the same things that black people would be saying, and they would just get so much, like, boosted, like, views and everything, whereas, like, black creators would being, like, their TikToks would be, like, blocked, or their, like, videos would be, like, shadow banned. And I think, to me, like, being an ally, like, especially in this day and age, I feel like a lot of people take allyship as, like, posting an infographic or, like, oh, repost this, okay, that's my activism for today. But I don't think, like, unless, like he was saying, like, you actually take it and you learn something from it and you, like keep that information with you, I think that's different than just, like, reposting something. But yeah, I feel like to be an ally is to just not necessarily, like, you don't have to, like, fight. I don't know how to word this, like, not, like,
I was trying to word it too,
like just uplifting, I feel like, is the most important part, and just, like, being there and being present and being like, I stand with you, as opposed to, like, trying to, like, be the front runners of our, like, fight for equality and our fight against discrimination and stuff.
And so going off of that, for those that maybe don't have a community here at Western for that, like, how would people maybe get involved with BSU? Or maybe, I know that there's probably a couple other organizations, right? Like, there's the Black Student Coalition. I didn't know if that was the same thing or a different thing, but how do people get involved?
I could clarify. I can answer both.
Yeah.
So the Black Student Coalition is the umbrella that the BSU and other clubs are under in. So there's the BSU, there's ACC, African Caribbean Club, NSB was the National Society of Black Engineers, and there's a Black Women's Revolution and LGBTQ.
I don't think they're under the BSC, but they are. It's Black. Was it Black? Is it
Black LGBTQ?
Yeah,
thriving,
I think so. Yeah, Black LGBTQ.
So they're not. Yeah, so I guess they're not under the BSC, but they fall, like, adjacent more so.
Yeah.
And so we have those clubs under the BSC, and the BSC is under the ESC, and the ESC has a lot of clubs as well that people don't. I feel like people don't know about. And if people who are, you know, wanting that community, you know, want to see people that look like them, the ESC probably has a club for you. You just, you know, literally you can just find out when they meet, show up, and then they'll take you in. Like a lot of the, because I mean I'm you know, working in the ESC, I know a lot of the club leaders, you know, a lot of the club leaders, and they're very friendly people, and they're willing to, like, you know, they see you, they'll say what's up, they'll ask you to come to meetings, yada yada, and they'll want you to get involved in the community. And I think all you have to do really just show up and just find out. And a lot of them have Instagram pages, and everybody has Instagram nowadays. So
So true.
So if you just, you know, find a club that you're interested in, and it's right there.
Yeah. Or even like you can go onto the WIN website, and that lists like all the ESC clubs on there. Social media, where like a lot of our clubs are very active on that. Like ESC and non-ESC clubs are like pretty active on social media. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people actually don't know about the ESC. Like before I came on campus, I did not know anything about the ESC,
Same,
or like
yeah.
I didn't even know that was a place. I didn't even know like BSU was. There's so many things that you kind of just like have to learn as you go, and I feel like it shouldn't be that way. But I mean, that's kind of how it is. But yeah, I think it's important that like, and it's a great way to find community via like clubs, because it's like specific things that you are like Black Student Union. I'm like, I'm gonna go to BSU. Or like we have like fencing club. You want to fence? You like fencing?
You like
Go to
fencing?
fencing club.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, bachata.
no, literally, there's so many like different, like there's like a wide range of things that you can like go to, like for your different interests, like how you identify all of those different things.
Yeah, and like if they don't have that, create it. Like there's a lot of clubs that you can just create, and you know they'll say, hey, just find a faculty to be your advisor, and then you're pretty much set.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so like if I think community building is important here, and I think, you know, if people want to find the community, they'll find it. I just think, you know, it's a matter of time for them.
Yeah, and y'all meet at 7 p.m., right? Like every Thursday?
Every Thursday at 6 p.m. in the main lobby of the ESC, which is the very top floor of the Viking Union.
And how many people do y'all usually? Because I know you have 9 board members, correct?
Correct.
And then it's basically anyone else who just kind of wants to show up at the meetings, right? And then y'all do different things.
So I'd say our numbers vary. Right?
Okay.
I'd say like, you know, winter quarter is a lot pretty tough for
winter
all
quarter.
clubs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So winter quarter we probably average around 25, 30 people. I'd say.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, it's a good amount. Last quarter we averaged around 45, 50. I'd say. So yeah, people are, if you're one to put the effort for the community will show up. Yeah. And I mean, I hope they know we appreciate them all for showing up. Like, I don't know if they'll hear this or not, but you know, we really do appreciate them, and you know, we do this for them. And yeah.
So what y'all do every week, is it different kind of workshops or different events, or is it kind of like a meeting first and then a fun thing, or?
It kind of varies by week, and like kind of also like how we're feeling as well, because sometimes we're like, damn. We don't really feel like planning a whole like thing, and so like we'll do some more like low key type stuff, but like also too, because like at the end of the day we are students as well on this campus, so I feel like it's like easy for us to tell like, okay, at this time in the quarter like everyone's kind of feeling burnout, or this time of the quarter everyone has like a lot of energy to do stuff, and like we kind of like base it and try to go on how we think people are feeling, or like fun events that we think people would like to see. And also like last quarter, like the very top of the quarter, because this year we're trying to focus more on obviously making it more, like a lot more communal, and putting the focus on the people that come, as opposed to like, because like we're the board, but really our job is to kind of make sure, like put these plans into action and make sure that people are coming to things that they want to come to and seeing things that they want to see. And so we got a whiteboard at the top of the year.
Big whiteboard.
And we said, what do you all want to see? And we just wrote everything down. Yeah. And I think we did a good amount of it throughout the quarter. We still have some stuff too. Yeah, and we still have stuff. So
yeah, and like we're always like, I mean, like Tekhia said, we're if we want to do what they want to do, like they are, like we're at the end of the day we're just students, you know. So it's up to them that we what they want to do, and we just carry it out for them, and we just give them the opportunity to do what they want to do and make them want to come more and more. So yeah.
Yeah. And do you all have any, I know that there is going to be lots of different events that have happened or that have already happened. So what are some that you can highlight that will be happening for the rest of this month?
Off rip, I don't really know like all of them, because there's like so many that we do during Black History Month. But for BSC, like for just Black History Month events in general, you can go to like the BSC page on Instagram. They're pretty informative. Or you can just go to the Black Student Coalition, which is on the 5th floor of the VU.
Yeah, it's
and
VU 504.
Yeah, 504.
I'm shocked I remember.
I'm shocked you did too, because I don't remember that at all.
I remember because I had to text you where
Man, but yeah, or you can just go in there and you can talk to Nia. She's always super helpful. She's the Oh no, she's not the development section. She's the director of the BSC.
Oh, okay.
But so as far as like BSC events and just like overarching Black History Month stuff, I feel like those would be like great options on where to find those. But in terms of BSU, we have meetings every Thursday. Yeah. It kind of varies for this month. But I think, this Thursday we're actually doing a collab with ACC and Blue Group.
Oh, okay.
And we're talking about kind of what it means to be a Black undocumented immigrant in the United States, and just like how that has evolved over the years with immigration and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah. And how do y'all, like, outside of Black History Month, because obviously it's like I don't know how to word this, but like Black History, it's not just like for February, you know, like it's year round. Besides like having these meetings that you do have every Thursday, is there anything else that people can, I guess, like look forward to, or that are yearly things, or just anything else that the BSC just does in general, like throughout the year?
We usually like every month at least. There's usually a big event going on, like even outside of Black History Month. Like, I know, for example, last November, we took, how many students was that? Like 100 something?
Yeah, it was like 100.
100 some students. We took them all to watch the premiere of Black Panther 2.
Oh, okay.
So, like, yeah, so we have events that are going on outside of we have something planned for spring quarter. Like, I don't think we can share that right now, but.
Yes, we're cooking up
some
things.
Cooking up some, yeah, but yeah, so, like, we have events that go on. And, you know, we're always, like, if people want to, if people want to see these big events outside of the, normal times we meet, then by all means, we could do that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's another thing too, is like we're for the people. So it's like even like people DM us sometimes and they'll be like, hey, did you hear about this? Or like, hey, like I think you should do this, and we welcome that, like, because it's like awesome. Again, this is for them, so it's like we want to be able to like put all of that stuff into play,
action.
Into action.
That's a great segue too, because where can people find you to do this or to follow you, anything like that? Instagram.
Our Instagram is www.bsu. And that's where we post like our weekly meetings, just like other exciting stuff. We also have like a link tree with all of our different resources.
And Twitter. I'm acting a fool on Twitter.
Oh no. But we have Twitter as well.
I'm just like a Nina Turner poster.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, Yonnie runs the Twitter.
Unhinged Twitter.
I run the Instagram.
I can't be that unhinged. It's a school account.
Yeah.
True.
I feel like that's like the hard thing with that.
I know.
That's why I was like, you can have that. I was like,
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah. But also, like, in the BSC, we're always in there.
Always. Oh, my God.
So it's like, come talk to us. I don't know. Come hang out with us. Like,
we don't bite.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very, very open.
So yeah, and it's BSU WW, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, and is that on everything for social media?
I could check right now.
Pull up the Twitter. Twitter.
I think the Twitter might be WWBSU.
I don't know why I got switched like that.
I don't know either. When I first
it's
got
WWBSU.
Yeah.
So WWBSU at WWBSU U for Union.
So many U's and W's.
Thanks for
Yeah. You never know.
Sweet. Well, is there anything else specifically that you wanted to shout out, or people that you just want to?
Shout out, Mom. No, I'm playing.
Shout out, Mom.
Shout out, Mom.
But so this Saturday, not this Saturday, my bad. So the last Saturday of Black History Month, we're gonna have our legacy ball, and there's an RSVP for that is out already, but it can also be found. It's not in there yet, but I'm gonna put it in the link tree for BSU as well, and that's probably like our biggest. It's like our kind of last like hoorah for
the big event of February.
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah. I mean, we have, like I said, we have our meetings every Thursday at 6 p.m. Yeah.
Follow us.
Yeah.
On Instagram and Twitter. Either or both.
BSU,
Why not both?
WW. All the above.
All the above. Yeah.
And then, is the legacy ball going to be in the VU?
No,
it's
at the Bellingham Ferry Terminal.
Whoa.
We're going
that's
big.
fancy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
Fancy things, fancy cars. I'm pulling up an escalator.
Fancy. And an escalator?
Maserati.
Finna get these Balenciaga shoes.
Pull up my red bottoms.
Well, y'all better go so you can see that happen.
Snazzy.
I'm finna max out my credit card. I don't know about y'all.
It's the event that y'all want to go to.
It is.
All
It's
right.
the event of the year.
Yeah, so if you want to see that, go check it out. We'll probably put some links, somewhere in the video here.
Cool.
But yeah, make sure y'all follow BSU WW or WWBSU on Instagram and Twitter. My name's Abby, and I just want to say thank you, both of you, for being able to show up here, especially kind of late notice. I appreciate it a lot. Cool. But yeah, we'll come out with another podcast soon. This is Wavelength. My outros are always really bad, but we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Eat healthy.
Eat healthy.
Eat your greens.
Eat breakfast.
I don't eat breakfast.
You only wouldn't know about that.
Nope. Caffeine.